on the note of perspective, me being so consumed by this pool fiasco that it just drove me crazy. I was so frustrated, so angry, such in a bad mood all the time. And over what? Right? Over having to wait a little bit longer to enjoy a wonderful pool and a beautiful backyard with my family? Like, come on. But in the moment, it was such a burden. And I look back on that now, and I think that not only was I immature and poorly able to deal with the ups and downs and the ebbs and flows of it, but I think I was able to find somewhere that I could use as an outlet to take out all my other frustrations and anything that was frustrating at work or in my personal life or with my health and fitness or whatever. It's like I had found a place that I could just dump all of that on. And talked about this before in previous episodes about how, that has had a tendency to just destroy my mood. And now that's projected outward to my wife and my daughter and my mother and friends and coworkers. And none of them had anything to do with that. That was just me just turning a bad situation and becoming a dick about it. But the idea of perspective, that was the biggest thing in our world for close to a year. And when we had built that house before, that was the biggest thing in our world. And if anybody else has done that, where they're building a house or they're buying a house or they're selling a house or they're moving across country or starting a new job or whatever, that is the biggest thing in your world. And it's all consuming, and it's such a focal point for you, and so much energy and thought is put against all that it's very easy to lose perspective. That guess what? This is just another pool for another house in another part of a neighborhood. Like, that's it. I remember driving around when were building our house, and like, you're just driving through these neighborhoods and they're just full of houses, and everybody that lives in these houses, like, that's one of the most important decisions that they've made as a family or as a couple or whatever. And they're just, to the other person, it's just another house, but to you, it's everything. And how do you balance that perspective? How do you balance that perspective? For me now, it is quite literally just having that vantage point of understanding that it's just a thing, and it's just something, and everybody else has their own thing, and some people have the same thing, and other people have houses, and other people have pools, and you're not the only one that's had a travel delay, and you're not the only one that's had something go wrong or your car break down or whatever. But I have found that I have been, unfortunately, so inward looking at times that when something happens, I take it as a personal attack on me. And it's not. It's just something that happens, and it sucks. And I feel that the reason that I get so frustrated with that is because when that happens, when I'm the one that's causing that and I recognize it, boy, do I try to go above and beyond to fix it. And maybe there's some overcompensation there, but when I believe that the other people are not going above and beyond, or not even just going just to the point, forget above and beyond, just to the point of trying to help rectify it, that's when I think a lot of my frustration comes out. And I'm curious to know how other people deal with that. And if as you're driving around right now or going for a walk or working out or doing whatever you're doing, listening to this, what situations have you gone through in your life that have been big things for you? Maybe it's getting some continuous education. Maybe, unfortunately, dealing with a family member that's sick, or your child is starting school or whatever. And it's so consuming to you, and every little detail is so important. But in reality, it's just another thing, and we all deal with it. And we just have to realize that we're not that special and we're not that important, despite what we tell our kids and despite what we tell ourselves, maybe consciously or subconsciously.